Meditation is one of the most powerful tools you can use to keep your vibration high and tap into your energetic power. But many people misunderstand the practice. In this episode, we're going to break it down, demystify the process, and show you how to unlock its full potential. This is powerful stuff, so stick around. Welcome to Vibing High with Mojoe Mike, where we talk about all kinds of cool stuff to help you boost your vibration level in a world that's getting harder to vibe high in each and every day. My name is Mike Garrett, aka Mojoe Mike. I'm a life mastery expert and curator over there at Spin Positive, spinpositive.com. I'm also author of the Spin Positive Master Series, a 6-volume book series that leads you, the reader, into your highest and best experience, what I call your zenith being. And if you'd like to get on the path of your zenith being, pick up your copy of Volume 1 of the Spin Positive Master Series today at spinpositive.com. Thanks for being here. I hope wherever you are vibing as high as you can possibly vibe and loving every minute of your experience. And if that's not the case, though, stick around. We'll get you figured out. We're going to talk about everything that affects our vibration level at some point. So be sure to subscribe to this program so you don't miss a single word of the incredible information I'm going to share with you. Today we're talking meditation. This is a topic that's gained a lot of traction over the last 10 years, and that's awesome. I love to see that. But there's also a lot of confusion out there about what meditation really is and what it can do for us. So in this episode, we're going to take some time to kind of demystify all that, distill that down. By the time you leave here, you'll know everything you need to know to get started meditating if you don't already. If you do, great. Still stick around, though, because there's probably going to be some information in this program that'll be new to you. Oftentimes, I look at things in a different way. I have a different spin on things, and so it's good to hear my take sometimes. Sometimes people go, oh, I get it now, because I simplify things down as simply as they can be simplified. We keep it surface level. Meditation is an amazing tool you have to improve your life in a million different ways. Really, I owe my life to meditation. I don't think I would be here today if it wasn't for meditation. I had so many emotional traumas eaten away at me that were causing me to be miserable in my day-to-day experience. And I also had a lot of emotional discomforts on top of that, like anxiety and depression, that I don't think I'd be here today. I think I would have thrown in the towel a long time ago. So I'm very thankful for meditation. Not only has it helped me solve my emotional problems, but it's also the single greatest tool I've used to correct all the physical issues I was having also, because before my revolution with the core enlightenment of Spin Positive, I was riddled with all sorts of physical ailments, some that I was told I would have for the rest of my life. But fortunately, through my higher power and through meditation, I was able to receive all the guidance that I needed to overcome everything that was dragging me down physically, emotionally, spiritually. In fact, meditation has been the single greatest tool I've used over the past 15 years to solve problems in my life. It is a huge tool. Meditation is, without a doubt, the single greatest weapon you have in your arsenal to help you boost your vibration level. It is amazing at boosting your vibration level. It's a wonderful tool. And meditation is one of the key ways you speak to your higher power. There's 2 primary ways your higher power is going to speak to you through your experience. And I believe we touched on these in the 8 power tips for perfect spiritual guidance. One of those is your intuition. That's the real-time guidance that you receive from your higher power. It's like that always on, perfect 6th sense of guidance that's leading you in the moment. And it's giving you that real-time wisdom as you need it. The second way your higher power will speak to you is through meditation. And through meditation, you'll actually engage in deeper conversations with your higher power, getting to the actual root of the things that are dragging you down or the things that you need help with in your life to make your experience easier and more enjoyable. And often that's not a dialogue at all. That's just what I call a bulk download of enlightenment being imparted into your being. And sometimes when you come out of meditation, you'll understand whatever it is you need to understand to fix whatever it is you were trying to fix. You'll have that wisdom imparted into you through the magic of meditation, and you'll walk away understanding fully what you need to do for whatever it is. And how we make that happen is we set an intention before we enter a meditative state. I intend to receive the guidance to fix XYZ problem in my life. So be it. We enter a meditative state, whether it's alpha or theta, we'll get to that. And then the universe can provide that download. Sometimes we don't even know what's happened until we go back and we think on whatever that was again. And now we understand it in a way that we didn't before. That sort of thing happens through meditation. So we definitely want meditation in play in our life all the time. I love talking about meditation. I could talk about meditation all day, every day. In fact, if you were to meet somebody out in the world that knew me and you asked them, hey, what do you think of that Mike Garrett fella? They'll probably say something like, he's an all right guy, but don't get him talking about meditation if you've got somewhere to be, because I like talking about meditation, just like I like talking about our relationship with our higher power. I'll talk about that all day long too. I also like talking about meditation because those are two amazingly powerful weapons you have in your arsenal to make your life easier to navigate and more enjoyable. And I want to help people utilize those to the fullest with every ounce of power I unlock through both meditation and through my higher power. The easier my life is. So why struggle? And the cooler stuff I can make happen. So, I want to help everybody turn that on. I also like teaching people about meditation and helping them turn on the power of meditation in their life, because it's through meditation where we're going to learn how to weaponize our conscious power in a big way to fight dark mojo. And of course, my whole shtick is I'm trying to rid the world of dark mojo, and I need all the help I can get. So I want to help people weaponize their consciousness to help me fight dark mojo. And meditation and using our meditative power, especially when we do it collectively, oh man, the shit we can accomplish. And I want to get us using that power collectively as humanity to make good shit happen for us. Meditation is the deepest energetic exchange we can engage in with the spiritual dimension around us. It is how we can connect to the spiritual dimension, the energetic dimension, however you define that, in the most powerful way possible. And not only do we receive guidance through meditation, but we can also receive our other benefits of our spirituality. We can receive protection. We can receive healing energy through meditation in a big way. In fact, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about that in Volume 4 of the Master Series. You can receive guidance. You can receive knowledge for lubrication. You can intend for lubrication and have it manifest later. Of course, strength's a big one we get through meditation, because just the act of meditating recharges us. It's like charging your spiritual energetic batteries, because we'll talk about how it gets rid of dark mojo. Meditation grounds dark mojo out of our mojo cloud. So it's very strengthening. I received through meditation all the wisdom that I needed to correct all the stuff that was dragging me down, all my emotional problems, all my physical problems. I would have never gotten to the root of those without meditation. It was amazing how that all materialized. I want everybody to have that sort of power in their life to where something is bugging them, whether it's emotional or physical, that they can go to the spiritual dimension through their higher power, through their superconscious connection. I haven't talked about that yet. And receive the wisdom they need to overcome stuff. Without meditation, my life would be a lot different today. Like I said, I'd probably be dead. I would definitely be super sick, because I had a lot of serious physical ailments that were creeping in and closing in on me that, just kind of baffled the medical teams that were trying to help me solve them. But it was through meditation where I was getting these downloads of what was wrong with me, and I would bring that up to my healthcare professionals, and they would say, "Okay, let's explore that." And sure enough, it would lead to the cessation of symptoms every fucking time. Man, I couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Sometimes they would outright say, "No, that can't be it," and then I would have to treat it on my own using wisdom from the universe. That happened some too. It was with that final missing piece of the puzzle through the meditation that I was able to fix all the stuff that was dragging me down. We'd probably still be looking for answers today had that not happened. What an amazing activity. Not only did I receive guidance to heal myself through meditation, I also received guidance to both discover and pursue my life purpose, which is another big thing you will receive through meditation. That's where you'll receive the guidance that leads you to your life purpose and allows you to discover that if you haven't already. And that's also where you will receive the wisdom you need to carry out your life purpose, because your life purpose is going to be unique to you. You're not going to be able to go buy a book to figure out whatever it is you got to do. You're going to have to write that book yourself. You're going to receive that wisdom directly from your higher power, most likely through meditation. my first meditations weren't voluntary. They weren't. And I'll talk about why in just a minute. But my first meditations were involuntary sessions brought on by my higher power. I talk about that in Volume 1 of the Master Series. But what I talk about, what happened in my garage, that was, when I talk about being jolted like that was me being thrown into a meditative state. That was my very first meditative state that day in my garage. I talk about it in Volume 1. That was the very first time I'd ever meditated was that day, and it turns out that's what that was just a meditative state. And then after that day, the next probably 30 or 40 meditative sessions weren't voluntary. They were states that I was induced into by the universe so I could begin receiving the enlightenment that I needed to begin putting together the shit I needed for Spin Positive. I started getting that information through these involuntary meditative sessions. At the time, I thought they were trances. It was tripping me out. I thought I was being thrown into these involuntary trances against my will. But it turned out it was just a meditative state, was all. But that was necessary. That had to happen because I could only receive what I needed to receive through meditation. And I was very anti-meditation back then in my life. Like I said, I've mentioned this before. I was a completely different person back then. Okay. And I didn't think very highly of meditation, and I would have not engaged in meditation on my own accord ever. I just wouldn't. I thought it was the biggest stack of hooey. Everybody that I knew in my life who meditated or talked about meditation were some of the weirdest motherfuckers I had ever met. And I didn't want nothing to do with it. And all their energy talk and this and that was way outside my wheelhouse. I was very logical, very left brain back then, you know. And so I had a very negative connotation of meditation. Not only that, but it had also been demonized through my religion. And a lot of religions do demonize meditation. They say that meditation is very akin to speaking to the devil and things like that. So they discourage that practice and they say that it is evil. And that's where my religion had me believing meditation was. So I would have never engaged in meditation on my own. If the universe would have just came to me and said, hey, okay, to pay back your debt to me, you're going to have to engage in meditation, receive this wisdom, blah, blah, blah. I probably wouldn't have done it. You know, I'd been like, that's devil work there, buddy. You're the devil. I was thrown into meditation because I would never have done it voluntarily. That was the only thing the universe can do. I'm telling you, the universe will handle you however you need to be handled. And it had to handle me kind of rough there at the beginning because I am very stubborn, pig-headed, and skeptical. And back then I thought I knew everything about everything. And turns out I didn't. What would happen in those early days is, okay, I talk about what happened in my garage. That was a big deal. That was a little bit different. That's the only time that really happened. But after that, when the universe would be ready to share something with me, I would get this little like white ring around my vision. It's kind of around the periphery of my vision. It was weird, kind of like how I talk about everything going white in my garage that day. It was just like this ring of white would come in on my vision. I'd be like, oh shit. I'm about to go down because I was about to be put into the theta state of meditation, which we're going to talk about in a minute. And it would creep in, you know, like a little countdown timer going, this is how much time you got to get somewhere quick. Because theta state, you're not setting up active in theta state. That's like you're laying down. That's near sleep time. That's very deep, trancy type state. So I had to find somewhere to get comfortable and lay down pretty much. And that white ring would show up in my vision. I go, oh, getting close. Time's getting close. And I'd have to go get ready. And then I'd be put into what turned out to be the theta state. But at the time, I thought it was just some kind of crazy trance. And I'd start getting this information. And then after it was over, I'd quick scroll down on note cards at first, note cards and paper, everything that was shared with me. In fact, I got boxes and boxes of note cards and paper notes of what was shared with me. That was fun. Those were fun days. But I promise you, even though there is a negative stigma that's been put on meditation through religion and some other practices, it's not evil at all. Don't ever believe that meditation is evil. In fact, it is the most powerful thing you can do in your life to improve your experience. And it's also a big part of your own power. So don't let anybody scare you away from it. It is absolutely natural. It is absolutely expected of you by your higher power to use this power in your life as you go through your experience. It's necessary, man. If you want to get everything out of this life, you got to tap in and get what's waiting for you, man, because it's the missing key. It's the missing piece of the puzzle that unlocks the rest of your experience. You know what I'm saying? So It's an important thing. That's why it's been demonized. That's why powers have worked so hard to prevent us from engaging in the practice, and especially religion has demonized it big time. Some religions have, because they don't want you doing it, because they know that if you meditate enough, eventually you're going to get the wisdom downloaded into you that says, hey, religion's bullshit, just like it did for me. They don't want you getting that far. Yeah, so of course they're going to tell you that's evil, and they're going to tell you anything you get from meditation is the devil, because a lot of what you get through meditation might be condemning of the church and the clergy. And so they're, of course, going to tell you that that's the devil telling you that. But really, it's not. It's the other way around. We are all intended to meditate frequently in our lives. It is very important for us. It's absolutely natural. It's intended. It's a big part of our energetic housekeeping. And meditation is the primary way we keep our mojo cloud free of dark mojo. It's a huge, powerful way to keep our mojo cloud scrubbed of dark mojo so we don't have any residual dark mojo messing with us in our energetic space. And again, it's a big way that our higher power speaks to us. And so it's a good habit to get into doing it as often as possible. And a big part of your master plan through the Spin Positive Master Series is going to include meditation. We weaponize meditation in all sorts of ways through the Master Series. Yes, meditation can be weaponized. Your conscious power can be weaponized. And it can be weaponized to manipulate your experience to make your life easier. And that's something that I certainly love teaching people how to do, because we're all intended to do it. If we all could do it, the world would be a much better place. I'm telling you, it really would. Not only is it powerful in our own lives, but meditation is powerful to us as a collective as well. It's through meditation, I don't want to get too deep because I try to get too deep in this program, but it's through meditation that we actually access something called the collective conscience. And we can actually communicate with one another through the collective conscience. That's a little deep, but there is a powerful energetic consciousness out there that is simply for humanity, okay? I call it the collective conscience. I think a lot of people call it the collective conscience. That seems to be a pretty good fucking word for it, really, that you can tap into and use the power of that and get wisdom from that. In fact, it's the collective conscience that doles out information from the big tome of universal wisdom. They're the gatekeepers. Collective conscious are the gatekeepers of that wisdom, and they'll give you wisdom out of that as they see fit and as they believe that you need that for your life purpose. They're the ones that go, okay, does he really need this wisdom from universal wisdom for his life purpose? Because that big tome is kind of like the military. You know, you got to have clearance. Not everybody has access to everything in the same way. There's gatekeepers, and it's a collective conscience. They decide what information is actually going to be doled out to you. It's through that function of the collective conscience where something called the hive mind lives. And that is where if enough people tune in to the collective conscience, we can think as one big giant organism. Now, that doesn't mean that we all get taken over in some weird way, but no, that just means that we can collectively think and put our conscious power together as one giant organism. And that's a powerful fucking thing. And it's called the hive mind. And it's through the collective conscience. It's through the hive mind where things like the 100th monkey effect happen. And maybe you've heard of that, where say there's an island full of monkeys, and some people go in there and they start training some monkeys to do some new skill, you know, use a tool or whatever. The theory is, and I believe this to be true, and apparently this has been proven, this has happened, if you teach enough monkeys this new skill to use the tool or whatever, say it's to stick a tool in a hole to get ants out to eat. Teach enough monkeys to stick a stick down in a hole to get ants out to eat. Teach them all on the east side of the island, okay? Say these monkeys are segregated by a mountain range going down the middle of the island. There's monkeys on the east, there's monkeys on the west. You teach a handful of monkeys on the east that don't even talk to the monkeys on the west. They're segregated. They can't talk. You teach enough of the monkeys on the east this new skill. And if enough of them get taught, then it becomes a skill shared by every monkey on the island automatically through the collective conscious, through the hive mind. It's a real thing. And all of a sudden, those monkeys on the west side of the island who had no training in sticking the stick in the hole for ants, all of a sudden, they all start sticking sticks in the holes and they're getting ants out. And it can happen with humanity. If enough people in humanity learn a new skill or start doing something a certain way, then we'll all start doing it. And that's why the collective awakening is an important thing, because if enough people awaken, then it'll automatically awaken people who don't intend to awaken. That might sound mean, but it has to happen for humanity in order for us to get back on our evolutionary path. Humanity must awaken. So while that might sound like some sadistic shit to do to a motherfucker, especially if they don't want to be awakened, because your awakening does change your life, don't get me wrong. It's a necessary evil that must be endured at some point if humanity is to continue down its evolutionary arc. So anyway, 100th monkey, collective conscious, hive mind, that whole thing. It's a real deal. It's a thing. It's out there. And it's through the collective conscious that we access this big tome of universal wisdom. That's all through meditation. With meditation, you're syncing with the collective conscience. You're making your requests known to the collective conscience, and they're saying, hey, does he have the security clearance necessary for this wisdom he's asking for? And if you do, then bang, they're going to give it to you. That's how it works. It's that simple, man. Us tapping into the hive mind is important for us for our evolutionary progress. We have to tap back in. We're kind of stuck on our evolutionary arc right now, especially our conscious evolution, because we have lost our collective connection to the hive mind. It's the whole thing. And one of the things that we're going to do through the Master Series is help you connect back to it, so you're one more person connected to it. But having you connected is one more node on that network with the right mindset that could shift the whole of humanity with the right momentum. That's what I'm doing with Spin Positive. It's the long game, right? It's the long game to awaken enough people eventually to hive mind awaken the rest. That's the real goal of the Spin Positive revolution. Shh, don't tell nobody. So I say, no, man, it's about making you as healthy, happy, and purposeful as possible. Yeah, man, life mastery all day long, brother. Master your life. And in life mastery, you become a node on my network to fight Dark Mojo as a byproduct. I need you in the fight. So what is meditation? Okay, it's a practice. We've covered that. But what actually is happening when we meditate? It really all comes down to frequency and energy. Once again, we've talked about frequency and energy a couple of different times on this program. And in particular, we're talking in this case, the frequency of our Mojo cloud. When we meditate, it changes the frequency of our Mojo cloud in such a way that it syncs better with the spiritual dimension. And we're able to have more bandwidth to communicate with the spiritual dimension. And we have a faster broadband connection to the spiritual dimension when we meditate in a way that we don't really have in any other way without taking some sort of mind-altering substance. You can connect pretty hard with like DMT and stuff like that used under the right conditions, controlled right conditions. I'm talking naturally, without any help at all. Meditation is that powerful connection. And when you sync, just like when your phone's trying to find a Wi-Fi network, it's got to be on the same frequency. Well, you're changing the energetic frequency of your Mojo cloud as you meditate to sync and do that handshake with the spiritual dimension in a way that doesn't happen without that taking place. That's why it's so important. We know things change when we meditate. Brain waves change. We know that for a fact. That's science. That's a proven thing. When we talk about the two types of meditation, they're actually labeled by the type of brainwave they induce. And in particular, we're going to talk about the alpha state and the theta state. Two different types of meditation. Both of those types create a different brainwave. You actually alter the way your brain's functioning when you engage in these practices. It's science. It's a real thing. When you change your brain waves, when you put your brain wave in the alpha state, you're altering your conscious experience in a very powerful way that allows your consciousness and your Mojo cloud to sync with the spiritual dimension in a way that it can through no other means. They can measure this change of brain waves with instrumentation. And then we're actually working at the Spin Positive Institute on figuring out how to measure your Mojo cloud and figure that shit out and what kind of probe we need to develop to measure your Mojo cloud. We're working on that. Then we'll be able to put those two together. You'll be able to see that energetic shift and the mind shift at the same time. It's going to be deep. We're going to like that. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so there's two different states we're going to talk about. Alpha state and theta state. Again, those are brain waves. Your brain waves actually change And alpha state is the lighter state of the two. It's a light meditation. What I would say, it's very similar to daydreaming or zoning out. You're still conscious of your physical experience. You're still aware that you're setting up and you're able to set up and all, and you're in control of that sort of thing. It's good for light, energetic housekeeping, a good pick-me-up. We like to use the alpha state for reciting mantras and things to give us strength and to clear our energy field and do that sort of thing. The alpha state is the popular type of meditation that is illustrated when you see someone sitting in the lotus position, with their legs crossed and their arms out. And that's the alpha state because you're still conscious of your experience. You're still aware of your surroundings. You know where you're at. You know what you're doing. It's a very light altering of your consciousness and of your brain waves. The alpha state is amazing for crushing anxiety. If you've got some anxious thoughts rolling around, then you can dip into the alpha state really quick, ground those thoughts, give those thoughts back to the universe. You can also receive enlightenment quickly if you need an answer to something and with a quickness and it's not coming through your intuition. Dip into the alpha state real quick and see if that enlightenment comes through. That's another great way to use the alpha state. We'll talk about how to get into these states in just a minute. We're going to describe them first. So yeah, the alpha state you're able to do setting up. You mildly alter your brain waves, very similar to daydreaming. If you can bring your mind into the daydream state, you're in the alpha state. When it comes to receiving information through the alpha state, when I talk about meditation being good for receiving guidance, and it is, but the two states are drastically different in the amount of guidance you're going to receive. I like to liken the alpha state to a dial-up connection to the spiritual dimension when it comes to receiving enlightenment. You can get information, but it's going to be slow kind of coming through. You're going to have to kind of wait on it. You don't get a whole lot all at once. Okay. And then you have the theta state, which is like the fiber optic connection. That's where the big stuff can come through in a flash. Like you get these huge downloads fast through the theta state. The alpha state is good for informational tasks if you need information, but if you're looking for something big, tap into the theta state. Another thing that's real popular in the alpha state are mantras. Those are real popular. People like to recite mantras to help give them strength or clarity or to help give them guidance to overcome something in their life. We do those through the alpha state, and we dip into the alpha state, a nice, light, energetic state. Recite our mantras. And another thing that's really good to do in the alpha state is visualization. I can't speak enough about how powerful your visualization is. Again, your conscious power is powerful. Just like God thinks things into being, you can think things into being too. And a powerful way you do that is through your visualization exercises. And that's something you can do very powerfully in the meditative state. In fact, it jumpstarts and gives extra oomph to your visualizations. Very powerful. So start visualizing things happening and imagining that coming to be as you're in the alpha state, and watch these things begin to bloom around you. It's amazing. It's powerful. Then there is the theta state. That is the deeper of the two states. We've already talked about that. In the theta state, you actually break away from your conscious awareness a little bit. Like you're no longer really aware of what's going on around you. You lose that immediate perception of your surroundings and what you're up to. The theta state is a deep state of consciousness that you enter into just before you enter the delta state of sleep. Okay, it's another brainwave. The theta brainwave is the brainwave we experience just before the delta wave of sleep. To get ourselves to the theta state, we had to begin that process of falling asleep and then stopping right before the delta state and hovering in the theta state. And, since it is just before sleep, it is trance-like, it is hypnotic-like. You're not aware of what's happening around you, and your entire experience is drawn inward. So it's different than the alpha state. And when you sink in the theta state, you're just going to sync up, and then you're going to let the experience drive itself. Since we're not conscious of our experience, we can't guide it like we can in the alpha state. So we'll set intentions before we enter the theta state of what we want to achieve. If we're looking for guidance, we'll intend for guidance. Then we'll enter the theta state and receive it. Because once we enter the theta state, the experience takes over. You just connect and then let it do its thing. And once you get there, it is a very powerful connection. I don't want to say it's addicting, but it is such a wonderful experience, and so many wonderful things happen that once you do start enjoying the benefits of theta state meditation, you'll want to do it often. Are you tired of getting kicked around by life? Is your experience getting harder instead of easier to navigate? Fight back and master your life with the Spin Positive Master Series, a 6-volume book series leading you into your highest being. I call it the Martial Art for Life Mastery, available now at spinpositive.com. Each volume reveals another level of powerful wisdom called Core Enlightenment. It makes up the foundation of the Spin Positive Master Series. This wisdom guides you step by step to achieve your highest purpose. Begin your self-help revolution for life mastery today with the Spin Positive Master Series. Become the next Blue Level Master as you unlock your power with Volume 1, The Universe's Guide to Mastering Your Power. It's perfect guidance to become the powerful person you were intended to be. Available now at spinpositive.com. Get your copy today at spinpositive.com. So we talked about our consciousness syncing with the spiritual dimension in a special way, in a powerful way. That happens. We talked about our brain waves changing. That happens. But not only does that happen, the way we transmit energy with the spiritual world, with the energetic world around us, changes. When we meditate, we enter a type of energetic circulation that I call stellar circulation. Now, when we enter stellar, that is a huge, huge, powerful connection to the energetic world around us. Let's say that our normal connection outside of meditation through our standard life source connection, again, would be like a 28K dial-up modem. When we're under conditions of stellar circulation, dude, we've got multiple fiber lines at our disposal. Here's how it works, because usually we transmit with the energetic grid through one wire traditionally under normal circumstances. We have one little conduit wire that goes there and kind of keeps us tethered to the big grid of spiritual energy that we got to stay connected to, that spins up our little life process, that provides us with the source energy to live, because life is powered by source energy. That all comes from this one conduit. It's like having one little network cable plugged in, and everything's coming over that one network cable, everything to the spiritual dimension. When you engage in stellar circulation, whether it's from meditation or one of the other activities we talk about in the Master Series, you change that energetic circuit with the energetic dimension. Now your life source connection, which normally handles everything going to and coming from the spiritual dimension, now it's only handling stuff coming in, and it gets big time blasted open. It gets dilated huge and becomes a one-way street. You start receiving a ton of energy from the energetic dimension around you. You really open the pipes up, open the floodgates up. And then your hands and feet, they become the return path. Then you start sending energy back out of the soles of your feet and palms of your hand. And you develop this energy circuit with the energetic dimension around you that I call stellar circulation, because when you draw it out on a piece of paper, you look like a big starfish in your energetic circulation. So I call it stellar circulation. That happens through meditation in a way that it can't happen through anything else, in a much more powerful way than it happens through any other activity we can engage in to initiate stellar circulation. Meditation is by far the most powerful, with theta state meditation being the most powerful form of stellar circulation. We're going to talk about both here on Vibing High and through the Master Series. Very powerful. So we want to engage in stellar circulation meditation as often as we can. Because one thing that happens, the energy that flows through us when we connect to the energetic dimension is an energy I call source energy. I call it source because it's the source of life. It is the energy that powers the life process. We talk about that in Volume 1. When we talk about our Mojoe cloud and that energy around us, that is the energy that is left over after the source energy powering our experience powers our experience. It is converted into Mojoe and becomes part of our Mojoe cloud. Now, we need a little bit of source energy just to stay alive, and that normally trickles through our life source connection as we go through our day-to-day business. But when we engage in stellar, we are flooded with source energy. So much source energy comes through us that we have all these amazing benefits. Source energy is a healing energy, so we start to receive healing, and our physical body begins to be repaired from physical sickness and disease when we meditate. It also helps us with our mental health. And it helps us sweep the sidewalk of our subconscious, of our traumas, and it helps us process our trauma. Theta state meditation is a very important part of processing trauma, past traumas. And as we engage in theta state meditation, our superconscious, which is like our little spiritual manager, is going to bag up all of our traumatic garbage and set it on the sidewalk where source energy is going to come flowing through stellar and carry it off. It's a very important thing. The source energy coming through is a big deal, man. I'm telling you, you feel better. You feel energized. It raises your vibration in big ways because that source energy also grounds dark mojo. So if you've picked up any dark mojo as you've gone through your experience, and we do, the world's full of dark mojo, and the more positive your energy is, the more you're going to attract dark mojo. Your mojo cloud's going to act like a big bug zapper, trapping dark mojo as you go, just because that's how it works. Light mojo attracts dark mojo. Dark mojo wants to cancel out light mojo. So as you spin positive throughout your experience, you're going to attract negative dark mojo, and it's going to collect up in your mojo cloud. So meditation will cleanse all that. As that source energy flows through you, it's going to cleanse all the dark mojo from your mojo cloud. And not only that, it's also going to cleanse any dark mojo that's built up in your physical body as well. You are saturated with source energy to the point where your physical cells will begin to be scrubbed too, because unfortunately, they can build up toxic dark mojo as well. And a lot of sickness and disease results from dark mojo accumulating in our physical cells. So it's an important process to scrub those cells clean through meditation. So that's another good thing. Grounding dark mojo, healing, two powerful things that happen. Of course, we talked about guidance. And that's another big thing you're going to get. You're going to get a lot of direction as you engage in meditation for your life and to discover and follow your life purpose. And you can also receive strength as we talked about. That's another thing that flows through the source energy as it comes through. Strengthens every physical cell of our body, strengthens every emotional cell, every energetic cell. It's also through meditation, especially theta state meditation, where we will break negative energetic contracts because those are a thing. And we develop those as we go about our experience, most often unbeknownst to us, just because we're tricked into creating them through the institutions that have been developed in our modern system. A lot of what happens is designed to trick us into signing into these negative energetic contracts. So we want to take the time to break those. We can break those through meditation. I'll teach you how to do that as we go along. Powerful thing. You can sever energetic cords. You can sever energetic contracts. You can't really accomplish that through any other means. That's very difficult to accomplish without that powerful connection, without that flowing source energy. So how do we meditate? Well, what's the trick? What's the skill? How do we do it? It's really easy, super easy. The most important thing to do when it comes to meditation is to find the right place to meditate, because you want a place that's kind of quiet and out of the way, that you're not going to have a bunch of traffic or noise that's going to distract you. Ideally, you'd want to be in a completely isolated room with no distractions whatsoever, because these states of consciousness can be fragile and delicate and very easy to knock yourself out of, especially theta state. You want to find the right spot. You want to make sure that you are tucked away in a spot that's going to be quiet enough for you to accomplish what you need to accomplish without any interruptions. You want to make sure that people know what you're up to so they don't come in asking you, hey, where's my car keys or whatever, because you don't want to be knocked out of the meditative state once you are in. You want to take all the precautions so you won't be jarred out of your experience. And after you find a quiet space, the next step is to put yourself in a comfortable position. And that's kind of dependent upon what type of meditation you're going to do. If you're going to do the alpha state, then very simply, you can be in any position you want to be in. A lot of people do like the lotus position. I dig it too. It's nice. It feels good. There's some energetic circuitry happening there with the way everything flows. So it's a nice position for the alpha state. But if that ain't your jam, you can sit in a chair, you can lay in a bed, whatever you want to do. You can stand in a corner, whatever you want to do, because you're not going to lose grasp of your conscious experience like you will theta state. Like I wouldn't suggest standing up to do your theta state, because at some point you're probably going to fall down and that's going to knock you out of the theta state. So definitely don't do that in theta. But in alpha, really any position that's comfortable for you. For the alpha state, I like the lotus position. For theta state, I lay down because, again, it's deep. It's almost to a point of sleep. So it's really difficult to hold yourself up in a sitting position, at least it is for me, unless I'm missing something. So if you're trying to get into the alpha state, all you got to do is begin to let your mind go free. Just stop thinking about shit. Stop thinking about everything. Just let it go. Let it go. Free your mind. Free your mind. Now, for some people, that can be difficult to do. So I always say, focus on your breathing. Focus on the movement of your breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. And just let everything go but the breathing. As you free your mind and as you release the thoughts of your mind, you should actually begin to feel your consciousness start to change. You should feel yourself kind of drop in to where you're in that daydream type space, where you're still aware of what's going on, but you are fully inward to your consciousness and aware of your consciousness, much like in a daydream. That's where we want to be. Once you find that daydream space, then you want to hold that space. Now, this is a good time to just listen. I'm a firm believer in letting your mind go completely clear, if not at the beginning, at some point, and listen. Simply listen. Meditation is a lot of the universe talking to us, our higher power talking to us, okay? We talk to it through our intentions most times, right? And through our conscious thoughts. That's kind of like, how we say this is what we need, okay? We're going to do that with intentions. And then in meditation, we're going to just listen. We're going to spend a good time just listening, quiet, with the focus being let your higher power speak to you, okay? If you get a thought, don't ruminate on it, file it away. If the universe gives you something, some bit of wisdom, and it prompts you to think on it, go ahead. If it doesn't, file it away and return to that space of calm, okay? Because the goal here is let the universe speak, receive what the universe is sending you, and file it away to digest later, because we have a limited amount of time in meditation. So we want to take the time to receive as much as we can. If we get chattery in there and we start analyzing the enlightenment as it comes through, we may burn up all of our meditative time and not receive everything. File it away and wait for the next thing. Because maybe it doesn't make no sense right now until you get the next 2 or 3 tidbits. Then you put it all together afterwards. And I suggest that everybody do this with every meditative session. Journal, journal, journal. Write down what happens. Write down what the universe tells you. Write down what your intentions were going in. Write down what you experienced and write down what it all means. Journal, journal, journal. Because you're going to receive a lot of information over time and you're not going to remember it all. I don't care how good your memory is. There's no way you're going to remember it all. So as soon as your experience ends, at the very least, have a notepad where you can jot down or on your phone the key takeaways from that experience. Just get it all out before you forget it. This is how I compiled the core enlightenment. One note card at a time, man. I would jot down like an automatic writer, just jotting down these note cards. And it was like I didn't even have to rethink it. It would just come out. If I did it soon enough, it would just come out like automatically. I'd just be firing off these note cards. And I suggest that we all do that because, man, like I said, you're going to receive a lot of information. There's no way in hell you're going to remember it all. Even if it's super powerful shit and you're going, I'll never forget that. You just never know. Write it down. Do some documentation somehow so that you don't forget it. Okay, so now for the theta state, this is a little bit different. With theta state, we want to set intentions before we enter our meditative experience because we're not going to be conscious enough to be set, at least we shouldn't be conscious enough to be setting intentions as we go through the experience. So before we enter the theta state, we want to intend for what we want to accomplish, what we want to receive, what's our overarching theme of this session. We want to tune our higher power into that. We want them to know what we need help with so they're not just grasping at straws. The more we can direct our spiritual army, the better results we're going to have. So set the intentions before you begin the process of slipping into the theta state. To slip into theta is a lot like the alpha state, but instead of stopping at alpha, you just keep on going. Keep on going. Let your consciousness go. Continue to descend. Just like if you were trying to fall asleep and take a nap, continue to descend until you get to that space right before sleep. That's a learned thing. It'll take some trial and error. It will take some experimentation for you to find that space. You just kind of fall into there. you'll get there too. Just continue to let your mind go and let yourself descend into that space, quiet your brain waves until just before sleep, and then hold that space. You might take some inadvertent naps in the beginning, but once you figure it out, you'll get to that space. It'll feel special. It'll feel like, okay, this is it. This is where the magic happens. And that's where you stop. And then hold that space. You'll feel yourself disconnect a bit. It's okay. You'll kind of be in this nether realm between the here and there. You're still aware of your consciousness, but you don't really have much idea what's going on outside here. And then once you're there and you lock in, usually I just let the experience go until it reaches its natural conclusion. You'll get to the spot where you just feel like when you've slept enough and it's time to get up, you go, I feel refreshed. You kind of feel like that way after a theta state meditation that reaches its end. You just like, hey, I'm totally refreshed. It's time to face the day. You just know it's over and done with and you're ready to move on. I usually let them go to that. I meditate often enough that my experiences aren't that long. Like I can reach that in under an hour pretty frequently, most days. So it's safe for me to do that. But otherwise, I suggest setting an alarm or a timer. 30 minutes is a good time limit for theta state so that you don't accidentally fall asleep or whatever. It's good to have a bit of a timer or an alarm. When we do develop a schedule of meditation, I do suggest doing at least one meditation a week that's open-ended and allowed to go to its natural conclusion. However long that takes, because you just never know. Sometimes your higher power has a lot to share with you that it can't get in that 30 minutes. And maybe there's a backlog because it's not getting it all in. So it's a good idea once a week just to clear out any backlogs. Let that meditative session go as long as it needs to go until you reach that, I feel like it's time to move on. And then there's nothing left unsaid by your higher power. You know that it has shared with you everything that it intended to. You can get cracking on whatever it is you're doing and be confident in knowing that you have all the wisdom you need to make it happen. There's tons of resources available online to get you started with meditation. I'm working on a bunch myself. But I don't have those out yet. That I'll be putting out pretty soon. But until then, there's tons of resources on YouTube on both alpha state and theta state, teaching you how to first find those spaces, which is good. And then there's also these things called helper tracks, which can help you through the experience. Now, helper tracks, what they are is they are aligned to a certain frequency, and they help you set your conscious frequency to help you sync better with the energetic dimension around you. They do work well. Look for something like a theta state helper track or a theta state meditative track. I've got some on spinpositive.com under Revolution Resources on the media tab. Those are for people that are going through the book series that I provide those there for them just to give them a jump start. Feel free to use those, spinpositive.com. They're just some favorites that I use that I found nice to help me when I first started out with meditation. I found them helpful, so I wanted to share those. So those are there. But helper tracks are good because some people struggle without having some sort of tonal help. And that's all they generally are, is some sort of a tone or frequency or some sort of a light melody or something that's very rhythmic that allows you to kind of sync energetically and alter your brain waves so you can have that powerful connection. With whatever method you choose, just enjoy the experience for as long as you can. Let the universe share with you as much as it wants to. Try not to get into a hurry. I know that we're all busy today, but it's good to do some longer meditative sessions every now and then. Something else that I would feel remiss if I didn't bring up during this episode are a little phenomenon called poo pingers. We talk about dark workers a lot in the Master Series. Dark workers are conscious bits of dark mojo. You would know a bigger one is something like a demon or something like that. Any sort of conscious dark mojo forms into a dark worker. Poo pingers are the smallest form of dark worker. They're so small, they've just now developed a consciousness, don't really know what to do with themselves, but they're literally all over everywhere because dark mojo's everywhere. When you engage in meditation, you boost your vibration level so much. And you sync with the energetic dimension in such a powerful way that you become a very bright beacon of light energy. And unfortunately, just like we talked about how you'll pick up dark mojo as you go through your day, just from it being attracted to the light mojo of your mojo cloud, poo pingers are going to be attracted to what's going on with you in your meditative state. because it's a bright beacon of light energy. So poo pingers are attracted just like a bug is attracted to a bug zapper. These small bits of conscious dark mojo are going to be attracted to you as you meditate. Why is that a problem for you? Because a poo pinger is going to burrow in through your mojo cloud and hit your skin. And when it does, it's going to feel like a flea bite. Poo pingers are those annoying, powerful itches that you get when you meditate that you don't really get any other time. They can be annoying as shit. And what it basically is a hot spark of dark mojo that has been attracted to you as you meditate going into your skin. And they feel very akin to a flea bite or a chigger or something like that. And they can be a problem because when you're trying to enter these very delicate meditative states, it doesn't take a whole lot to keep you from doing so. And a lot of people struggle with poo pingers in the very beginning. Be aware that if you do feel these powerful itches constantly bugging you, take some sage or something and smudge your space before you attempt your next meditation. Try to clear out some of that residual dark mojo, and then you should have less issues with poo pingers and with those annoying little itches as you meditate. But I just want to make those aware that those happen, and it's totally natural. That's what's going on, and this is how you fix it. Eventually, we'll talk about how important it is to keep our physical spaces clear of dark mojo. We'll talk about, having a monthly cleansing regimen and all that sort of thing. And then those will be less of a problem. But until then, just know that's how you fix them. Those are also those little pops that you hear in the podcast sometime. Those little pops, those are poo pingers that come through and they end up in the audio video thing. I'll tell you all about that someday. You're hearing a poo pinger when you hear those. Also, man, you might feel really good after your meditative session. A lot of people do. A lot of people report feeling revived and refreshed and boosted, almost like when you wake up from a nap. It's very similar, very akin to that feeling, especially in the energetic sense. Like you should feel way better energetically. Your vibration level should be way higher once you're finished with your meditative session. So expect that. Expect to feel good. That's why we do it. That's one of the big reasons why we do it. Meditation is a huge source of strength, so you might feel stronger and more energized to tackle your day when you're done. That's a common thing. And likewise, also, if you engage in the theta state, you may feel a little groggy afterwards sometimes too. If we get in too deep and we're in theta for too long, we can be a little groggy coming out. So sometimes it's a good idea to take a few minutes to kind of reorient ourselves with our surroundings before we do anything like drive or operate heavy machinery. I hope you get cracking on meditation, man. It's important for humanity to meditate. We all need to meditate. It's through that practice where we're going to receive the collective guidance to build a better future moving forward, a future that's better for everyone. We're going to receive that guidance through our higher powers collectively. Hopefully, in time, we will lead to that collective awakening where everybody awakens to what's going on, and we can come together as a full, united humanity to make the world a better place for everybody, using the perfect guidance coming to us from that powerful consciousness that wants to see us do good things. That'll be an amazing day. That'll be a great day. That'll be a day to celebrate. And after we do accomplish that collective awakening, then we will all receive the collective guidance together to move forward and make the world a better place. That's going to be amazing. And then we'll start evolving again. Humanity will begin down its evolutionary arc, and you'll see that the developments we make in all areas of our lives, in all areas of society, they will come much faster and be way more monumental. We'll be making huge discoveries like when we discovered electricity. Those things will be happening like every day when we're all on the path of our purpose and we're all spinning positive and we're carrying out our collective purpose. Amazing shit's going to happen for humanity. It's going to be incredible. We just got to unite, fight the dark mojo, fight the greed, fight the oppression, and create that beautiful utopian space that we know we can create together because we are a smart, loving, and resourceful humanity. So we all got to get meditating because the more people that meditate, the closer we are to that goal and the closer we are to that 100th monkey effect and the grand awakening. So I'm really excited. I can't wait for that to happen. I know it's going to happen. Pluto's in Aquarius, man. I'm telling you, that's a big deal. There's something to all that. That was a big deal. That had to happen for humanity to get to the conscious place where an awakening was even possible. There's something about all that. That shit's important. A little over my head, but important nonetheless. Okay, so to review, meditation is an energetic and conscious sync with the spiritual world around us. And once synced, we receive guidance, healing, and strength from our higher power. As we meditate, we alter our energetic circuitry to initiate stellar circulation, a very powerful transfer of energy with the spiritual world around us or energetic world around us. Meditation is a primary mode through which we communicate with our higher power, and we receive a great deal of enlightenment as we engage in the practice. There's the alpha state of meditation, which lightly alters our conscious landscape and is great for light, energetic housekeeping tasks. Theta state is the deeper state, and we pass through it on our way to sleep twice a day as we fall asleep and as we awake from sleep. In theta, we receive incredible amounts of guidance. We receive strength, of course, and we receive healing energy through the source energy that flows through us in a very powerful way as we engage in that. The theta state is also great to break energetic contracts and sever energetic cords. We'll also learn how to use the theta state to reprogram our consciousness to change unwanted behaviors and to overcome negative habits and things like that. We should engage in meditation, whether alpha state or theta state, as often as we possibly can, because as we engage in meditation, the source energy that flows through us cleanses our mojo cloud of dark mojo, boosting our vibration level in a way that we can achieve through no other activity, and it's a great weapon we have to fight against the dark mojo dragging us down. As we meditate, and the longer we meditate, it will lead us to that powerful relationship with our higher power, which will ultimately lead us to our awakening. Hopefully in time, we will lead enough people to their awakening to collectively awaken all of humanity. That will be amazing. So that's basically meditation in a nutshell. Powerful sync with the energetic world around you. You want to do it as often as you possibly can. I think that's just about it for this episode. I think I've yammered on enough here about meditation and covered everything that I wanted to cover. You can keep the party going with me away from this program over there on social media. You can find me anywhere pretty much at Spin Positive Revolution. And I hope you begin your revolution for life mastery with the Spin Positive Master Series, the martial art for life mastery. Unlock your power and become the next blue level master today. Pick up your copy of Volume 1 at spinpositive.com. Thanks for checking this out. Until next time, stay safe out there and keep vibing high.